Hello. Right, okay, I've seen these guys in this video. Guy catches glasses on face, and I've been practicing, so just watch this. Done. Let me try this again. It worked in rehearsal. Let me just give this one more go. Sorry guys, well, I'll just give up with that one. I'll go on to the second part of my title here. And I prove there is no God. Okay, I'm being a little disingenuous because everybody knows that you can't prove that there is a God or there isn't a God. But what you can do, and I think this is very interesting, is that you can present arguments that make it more or less likely, or that tend to change our mind about this or alter our beliefs about it. And just let me say something about my approach first. I'm not one of these atheists who has deep hatred for anybody who is not an atheist or anybody who believes in God. I don't think that's stupid in any way. So I think that what I'm trying to do is, well, I'm addressing myself here to atheists, to say something about the kind of arguments that they can present to a believer, but also here I'd like to also address myself to believers and just to put a few points out. And I think I think you're reasonable. I'm assuming you're reasonable and you'll listen to what I have to say. And if you don't, if it doesn't have any effect on you, that's fine. But at least I think we should. I think we should listen to each other. So basically, I think there are two different kinds of arguments that we can present as atheists, and I'll call these, just for the moment, I'll call them objective and subjective, okay, just to give two labels, although I know that they might be a little misleading. So what I mean by objective arguments are anything that's talking about what's out there in the world, about facts, about the fact that there's a being out there somewhere that exists, the facts about God, or facts about the world. For example, the often used design argument from design. Okay, and I don't want to spend too much time on these because I don't think they're the most essential ones. I think it's quite interesting that people, so much energy is expended on these, what I call objective arguments, showing that design, the world is designed, obviously, it's beautiful, it's ordered, and so on, and therefore there is a God. I think this argument has been demolished time and time again, and I don't think these kind of arguments are so important. The reason for this is that I think that religious belief is primarily an emotional thing, and so what I think it's more important to do is to go to the emotional aspects of religious belief and to ask the question, well, because what happens when you confront a religious believer with all kinds of facts and so on, incidentally it's very revealing about what is seen as truth in our modern societies. What's the criterion of truth? It's very interesting that we have recourse to facts, to evidence, to it shows that science, hard science, and also with the arguments about evolution, shows that hard science is something that's used, that has great prestige, and so people naturally present scientific arguments. But I think, as I was starting to say, is that what we have to look at is the emotional aspects of religious belief, because people will say in the end, religious believers will say, after you've presented all these objective arguments, they'll say, well, at the end of the day, it's something I believe, I feel it strongly, and that's how I know. I know there's a God because I can feel that there's a God out there. And so we need to look at this, and here I'm getting onto what I'm calling subjective arguments. In other words, I'm talking about arguments that address the subject that has the belief and not the objects that are out there in the world, whether it's the world itself or the God that created it. And so here, I think there's several arguments we can make. First of all, we can say that the strength of the feeling has never been a guarantee of its truth. We all know very well that people have believed in all kinds of things in history that we now see as utterly absurd. I don't need to give examples, everyone can see what I mean. The second thing is that having a subjective experience of any kind doesn't guarantee that there's anything outside the believing subject that this subjective experience doesn't guarantee the reality of anything outside the believer. Alright, so what I mean is that, well, for example, hallucinations. People have hallucinations, that's a subjective experience, but we know now that, we've always known, I suppose, that the hallucination doesn't correspond to an external reality. And I see, to summarise my position really, I see religion as, I see belief in a God as being a kind of emotional hallucination. And I think there's a lot of evidence for this, in particular in the domain of psychoanalysis. This question of the being within the subject. There's the psyche is structured in such a way that there's an object, kind of, which makes up part of the structure of the believing subject. I won't go into this too much, but I would say for atheists and for believers, there's a book. I have a copy here, Sigmund Freud, The Future of an Illusion. Alright, I have the French edition here, but you can find this very easily in English and other languages. So, Freud says in this book that religious belief comes about through the fact that when we're children we feel very helpless, and this is the kind of feeling that can carry on into adulthood. But I don't have time to go into it because I'm going to be cut off. But I think it's very important to point out for atheists that these are the kind of things we need to address rather than the more objective factors of evidence and facts and so on. So I hope to be addressing that in future videos. Thank you.